Hey parents, this is Dr. Gerritsen, and I wanted to do a real short video for you about some upcoming things and just kind of keep you informed in some different ways about what's happening in class and what's to come. The first thing I want is, if you haven't got a chance to look at the newsletter, on September 23rd and 24th, the fifth graders will be going to the Outdoor Learning Center, which belongs to Northwest ISD, and they will be spending all day those 2 days at the Learning Center. During those 2 days, we're asking that one parent from each class go with us to assist. If you are interested and you are available those 2 days and would like to go with us and help out with a group, then I'm asking you to email me and let me know that you're interested. You'll have to do a background check and have that on file with the district, so we want to get that taken care of as soon as possible. So if you could let me know that within the next day or so, then the first person to email me will let go with us on that particular trip. We can't take any siblings, anything like that. It'll just have to be one person. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you about, with progress reports coming out this week, one of the things that I really wanted to discuss, and I've talked with some parents about this, is math and how math has changed. And if you were able to come to the curriculum night, we talked about this a little bit, but I wanted to talk about it specifically with you to kind of let you know what I'm looking for and what that might look like with your child. A lot of what we're seeing with math these days, and a lot of what the state's pulling for, and what really at a national level with the new Common Core standard we're going towards, is this reasoning through and thinking about math in a very critical way. And when you look at data that based on student scores, based on what students have done in the past, and based on the problem of practice that we have at the school, one of the things that we continually find is that students are not critically thinking about what they're doing in mathematics classroom. And so for the first 3 weeks, we've really been working on those process skills, and specifically in communicating our thoughts mathematically. And this is not easy. It's not something that comes naturally for students. It's something that we have to work through. And so we took a couple of different grades the last 3 weeks that really kind of show a growth process with your child. And the first one that we took, they might not have done as well as we normally would expect them to do. And that's because partially the math curriculum at Northwest ISD is new. We're heavy into those process skills this year and really making sure that students understand those process skills. And so one of the things that you might see is, for the progress reports, their grades may not be as high as you're used to seeing. What I've told the students and what I've told parents that I've spoken with is that, remember, this is a process, and we have to start somewhere. And in order to learn, we have to learn from what we're doing right, and we have to learn from maybe mistakes that we're making. And so I want you to know that I'm working really hard to make sure that we're improving those scores as we go along. I'm giving lots of feedback to your child and making sure they understand exactly what that might look like. So the communication one is probably the most difficult. It's the one that most students struggle with, more than anything. This past week, we added in the problem-solving piece, which basically was understanding the problem. Do you understand the problem? Do you have a strategy that works for that problem? And did you come up with some answer based on that strategy? And when we combined those two together, grades went up. But more so than that, with communication, I saw such a growth process with so many kids. It was amazing to see what they turned into me the first time, and then based on the feedback I gave them, what they turned in the second time. So just know that is a process, and if you have any questions or concerns about that, I'll be happy to answer those for you, and sit down and we can look at their work, we can go over their work, and I can show you what that looks like. So feel free to call me. I'm asking that you trust me, and that that we're going to work through those processes with them and get them to where they need to be. And sometimes in the beginning we have to take about 3 steps back in order to take any steps forward. And that's kind of what we've done in the beginning because it is different from what they experienced last year. It is different from what they've experienced any other year. And I find that when we go to that particular format, as I have in some other districts that I've worked for, we always have students who kind of have to take a step back first because really they're relearning how to process. Now, we're starting this with our kindergartners this year, and so by the time they get up into the higher levels, this should be second nature to them. But it's not second nature to our 5th graders because it's new. It's something they haven't experienced. But again, if you have any questions about that, I want you to email me, call me, set up a conference with me. We'll sit down, we'll talk about that. One of the other things that I wanted to let you know is that grades have been inputted for progress reports. However, I'm missing some grades. One of the things that we're really going to have to work on is ensuring that students are turning their work in. Some of them have turned it in, but there's no name on the work. And so we want to make sure that we're encouraging our students to do that as well. But I do have several papers missing from some students. They were supposed to turn those in on Friday. A lot of them I gave extra time to complete those, and so if you see a grade missing, I did not put it in as an M, which stands for missing, but I left it blank. So if you see a blank grade, then you will know that your child is missing that particular paper. So if you can help me by encouraging them to get those in, and I'm going to be working with those on my side at school to take care of that and get those in, I would sure appreciate it. I'm going to be doing this periodically just to kind of give you some insight onto what's going on in the classroom. I cannot tell you enough how much I've enjoyed working with your child to date. They have been wonderful. They've responded really well. We've had some ups and downs. We had a bad day last week, and they bounced right back the next day after we talked about it. And they had a bad day, I had a bad day. So we really bounced back the next day and just had a really, really good day. So I'm really excited about how they're responding, how they're taking care of their responsibilities. Our morning meetings are really helping with that, and then as we go throughout the day. So I really appreciate that. This week in science, we're going to be talking about wind energy, and we're going to actually do some building of turbines. So that's something that hopefully they'll come home talking about and looking at. And then in language arts, we're continuing our first 30 days, finishing up with those particular pieces, starting in writing, working with the stages of writing, and really nailing those down to get a good piece that we can use to assess with. So all of that's going on. Reading QRI inventories are going on, and those are just our tests for beginning of the year to determine where the child is as far as reading levels and comprehension levels and fluency levels. So lots of stuff going on. Again, if I can be of help at any time, any point throughout the year, please let me know. I'm here for you. I'm here for your child, and I'm excited to be working with your child. I hope you have a great rest of the weekend, and I look forward to a great week. Thanks.